There were two possibilities. I could go to Russia or come to Germany. Germany was not looking for workers. It is very important when you come to Germany.
Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Leila. In case you're new here, I'm a nurse here in Germany and I'm also a part-time English teacher. For today's video, I have someone special here. He's called James, my uncle. And today I'm going to be interviewing him about a certain topic. Now, my uncle has lived in Germany for over 40 years and right now he is in his pension. He is an engineer by profession. The topic that I'm going to be talking about with him is, as a person who has lived in Germany for over 40 years, what mistakes do you think someone should avoid when starting a career? We shall be talking about also how he managed to get an opportunity to come to Germany back then, because like I said, he has lived in Germany for over 40 years. And then I will ask him for tips on how to build long-term professional network here in Germany as a foreigner. Maybe he has some tips. Then we shall talk about also if it was easy for him to adapt to the German working culture and what helped him to build a stable career in a stable country like Germany. So we're going to be slowly going through these topics. Let's start.
So let me introduce myself. I'm James Iga. I came from Uganda, and my situation was actually not so simple. 40 years ago, it was even more than 40 years ago, in Uganda we had a president called Idi Amin. So after studying in Makerere, I got a bachelor. I wanted to do a master's. I wanted to go outside. Of course, my best or the first choices were Great Britain or USA to do a master's in engineering. Oh, that is a problem. Nobody really liked Ugandans because of the situation Idi Amin. And I waited. Of course, I had got a chance to study in USA to get a master's. But USA is very expensive. They told me the university where I had got a place, Stanford, half of the tuition fees they will pay. The rest I had to get, and I couldn't get. My parents didn't have money in Uganda. So, and I waited 4 years. I was doing something at Makerere University. After 4 years, I said, okay, if I don't get a chance, I can't wait. And there were two possibilities. I could go to Russia or come to Germany. They would give me a scholarship. And that's the time where I was a socialist system. I was not really very convinced. So I said, I go to Germany, although I had no knowledge about German.
Wow.
So I came to Germany. I must admit, 40 years ago, Ugandans, they could go to Germany or Britain, didn't need a visa. So, but I came with a scholarship. And I thought, okay, master's degree, maybe 2 years, finish and go back. And that was the shock. The system in Germany was very different from that of Britain, and we didn't know anything about it. So at that time in engineering, didn't have even a bachelor, master degree. They had what they call diploma engineer. So to get to the system, it was a shock. And of course, that was the beginning. The language was also not easy because you learn these, what you have learned, technical words, but you are using English, and then here you have to use German. Yeah. If you have learned in Uganda oxygen, and then they call it Zawashtov. You say, oh, what is all this?
What is that? I know. They have also their other ones.
Yeah. So for me, I think 40 years ago, many of us, the mistake was you come to German and you think 2 years, then after that I go back. You don't even think of that you can stay longer. And if you are somewhere and you haven't thought of staying longer, you can't even look at the possibilities. And that was really a big, big problem, because in the head, you think, oh, 2 years I go back. You are not trying to do anything. Yeah. I got even some shocks later where, because I was, after learning the German language in Freiburg, I went to a university in North German. The place is Niedersachsen. The university is called the Techno University Braunschweig. I didn't even have an idea what is there, but we had a professor in Uganda from Yugoslavia those days. He told me, "Oh, you want to study engineering in Uganda, in German? You go to Techno University Braunschweig." That was the only thing. I'm here. I knew if I knew you can study engineering in Stuttgart or Karlsruhe, maybe I wouldn't even have gone there.
Yeah, you wouldn't have moved, but
Yeah.
you didn't know.
I didn't know. I didn't know. So you come, you don't have much in the head. You are not prepared. You are not informed. I'm not saying head, that the head is, but information about the country and the system. You don't know anything. And as I said, at that time, doesn't matter where you are. Maybe you may be lucky to find 3 or 4 people from Africa. Yeah.
That's what Asha also said when she came to Germany. She was really hoping to find like someone from Africa. When she used to go on the streets and she sees someone who is black, she'll be like, "Oh, my sister, oh, my brother," she will be so happy, because by that time there were so very few, as there were really few Africans here in Germany.
And that is the difference, that we didn't have people you can talk to, give you some advice, tell you what you go through.
Yeah.
That's why for you, people coming these years, you are very, very lucky. You are very lucky. The system, you can join the system very easily, because there are many people who are already here. You can get tips. Yeah. So this is one side. You get people who can help you. On the other side, the German system needs foreigners. At that time, it was not possible. At my time, they would ask the company if they want to have you. They'll ask, "Show us how many times have you advertised to get a German? You didn't. How many times have you advertised to get EU person? You didn't." So it was not like now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was really not easy for us, and that's why we made so many mistakes, because there are no people to give you advice, and the system was not supporting us. Yeah. I can say it. People may not believe it, but at that time, many medical doctors were coming from Russia to work here. They couldn't work as medical doctors. They are driving taxis.
Wow.
That was the time.
Because the jobs were meant to only be given to the Germans first, yeah?
German was not looking for workers.
Okay. They were having
They were
enough
not
young people to cover up
after the Second World War. They are looking for workers.
Yeah.
But 40 years ago, so 1980, they had enough workers. They were not looking for workers. Yeah. So there was no need that they do this to attract the people. There was no need.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now we have talked about how you came to Germany back then, like how you got the opportunity. We've talked about the mistakes you did back then and how much forte, like advantage we have as young people who are right now coming into Germany to work. And I can really say that you are right. Right now, there is a lot of demand for workers here in Germany. More so in the sector that I work in nursing, we really lack nurses, and they usually want to bring in people from different countries. And anyway, so to the next point that I would like you to address, was it easy for you to adapt to the German work culture back then? So, the fact being that you've said there were very few Africans here, and you were in an engineering sector. that sector is so competitive, I believe. Yeah. So was it easy for you like to adapt and fit in? Like, how was it?
It was not easy.
Yeah.
And everywhere it is like that. Okay, when I was studying engineering as a student, that's the good thing. You get jobs or you do what they call German practical work. So I worked in Volkswagen, I worked in MAN, these are companies really automobile industry, very, very big. So you get to know it, but it's not easy. Yeah, because you are just a student for a short time.
Yeah.
But it's a branch like engineering. If you are studying engineering, this is part of the studies. They give you this chance to go and see, how does it function in industry? Because
In the
it's
practicals,
yeah. You get the chance, and this opens your way of thinking ahead. Yeah. I can give example. At that time, we didn't have robots, and I was assembling engine. I had to put in screws, and the engine is in your place 20 seconds. You have to put the screws. If you don't manage, the engine will go to the next person, and the screws are missing. The next person is shouting, "What is happening?" So you learn through mistakes. Yeah, but you learn. It doesn't matter where you which field you learn. You have to be ready to say, "I want to learn it." As I said, very important in German to learn how is the culture, the way they do things. It's very different from the one we do things. I always explain this because for me it was a shock. You go to a restaurant here, you see those who are serving, the way they treat you.
Yeah.
You go to Uganda, and I'm sorry to mention it, you go to Ugandan restaurant, you wonder and say, where am I? Yeah.
It's different.
Somebody comes there, to college.
Yeah. Like oh God, yeah, it's true. It's really the work culture is really different. We have to adapt to
and
it.
that is very important. When you come to German, you have to know, okay, maybe the way their life is not the way I'm used to 100%, but I have to learn what is for them important. Yeah. It is such things like they are very strict when it comes to you are staying in a flat, and after 10 in the evening, 10 p.m., you shouldn't play music. Unfortunately, when you think of Africans, nobody will say it is 10, so I'm not going to visit anybody. So they come, they visit, and one plays music, they enjoy it. So these are things, then already you get kind of, they will say, what is happening? You have to know what are they used to, what.
So, Uncle, I really want you to tell us, like, how did you manage? You know, for us, when for example, for me, when I came to Germany, there is a period where I felt like, oh my God, the work here is so hard. We work 40 hours a week. And I wasn't used to it in Uganda. In Uganda, we don't have to work. You work when you need the money. Now, for you back then, coming here, you have no one, you have no family here. Didn't you? What kept on pushing you to go on and do your masters and continue even working in that kind of sector where you were the only maybe like black person, or maybe you were, yeah, you know, like you were a besondere person in this film team because you were the only one working with them coming from Africa. Like, did you have any challenges like of blending in? Were they like saying, no, that one, he is from Africa, he cannot handle this kind of work or something like that? What kept on pushing you and what motivated you to keep on pushing? Because I feel most of us here who come here, what makes us give up is lack of motivation. we feel like, oh, this country, it's so cold, and then I have to, the language is so difficult. Es lohnt sich nicht, like it's not worth it. I will just maybe get married, give birth, and I benefit from children's benefits or something like that. But for you, you came as an engineer student, you pushed on to the masters, despite the fact that you were alone here without anyone, in a period where there were very few Africans. Like, what motivated you? Share a little bit of those tips that kept on. That where did you get the energy and the motivation? Some of us that really lack sometimes.
Maybe it is very important here. I always, for me, I don't lie.
Yeah.
I always say the truth.
Yeah.
When you get my story, you think I was motivated.
Yeah.
That would be a lie. I was very lucky. I came to Germany. I got a scholarship. Scholarship. So when it comes to money to survive or to buy things you need in winter, we are getting this money. So it's not that I have to work to get the money. I was not. As I said, even working like a Volkswagen, we knew that, okay, they are looking for students because in the summer, many of the workers go for holidays and they want the students to do the work and so that they produce the cars. So you get friends who tell you, yeah, we go and work in Volkswagen. So these friends, of course, many the German friends, they are those who motivate. So when you come here, you have to make sure you get to learn the people and
The right people.
they will give you advice. For me, I was not that I have to work because I need the money. I must admit I am. That's why I don't want to give my example. I came on a scholarship. The problem was if you don't leave German after scholarship, they will tell you to pay the money back.
Ah, okay.
Of course.
So you paid the money back?
I had to pay the money back when I started working. So my life was not so simple. You are working, and this when I already had some.
Do you think
children.
It's still like that even right now, that people have to pay back? Do you have any information
if
about
you
it?
get a scholarship, because scholarships are meant for the country, they would want you to go back. If you don't go back, they want you to pay money, the money back. Not everything, but maybe 80%. You pay it.
So you mean when someone comes into Germany on a scholarship, and they go to university, they study their course right now in 2025, and they decide, okay, I finished my scholarship, I would like to continue working here in Germany, I'm not going back. The government will say, okay, since you are staying in our country, when you start working, you pay back the money for the scholarship.
Because don't forget, if you came with a scholarship and the German government gave you the scholarship, there are conditions. Normally they want you, it is a political situation. They want you to go back to that country so that the German culture, you can, we have helped many Ugandans. If you don't go, then they are not they are not getting what they wanted. I'm sorry to mention this, but the countries are not helping others for nothing. They always want to show we help this country, and then they will like us, and we can always tell them what to do. So if you don't go, you pay the money. So for me, working was not so simple because I have to pay back the money. But I knew that there's no way out, because either you leave the country, but if you don't leave the country and don't pay the money, later problems can come in. They will say you pay the money with a lot of interest, and it will be complicated. For me, I didn't want to get in such situations.
So, Uncle, I'm going to confess there is something that you told to Jalia, and Jalia told to me, and then it awakened my thinking. There is a time I was talking to Jalia, and I was like, it was FSYOT, and I was like, after my FSYOT, I will go back to Uganda. Okay? because I wanted to maybe save money and then go back to Uganda and start maybe with my small money that I have to start something for myself in Uganda. And then Jalia was like, stop thinking like that, because uncle uncle lived here for long thinking that he will save money and one day go back with his money in Uganda and start a life. But each year that came by, he realized he cannot go back because the money wasn't there. And she was like, you have to accept that your life is here in Germany and you have to work on living a good life here in Germany, not sending all your money back home, yet your life is here. I see a lot of foreigners, like people like us coming from Africa, we send a lot of money back home and we live a bad life here in Germany because we think we shall go back there. But the thing is, our life is here, our jobs are here, and there when we go back, there are no jobs for us. That's what Jalia told me. She learned from you. I mean, she had this advice from you and she told me, and I was like, that's really true. I'm finishing my Ausbildung. Ich mache es nicht umsonst. I'm doing the Ausbildung to get a job here. So if I finish the Ausbildung and I decided to go back to Uganda, how much will they even give me? It's not even 1 million shillings. I might even not get a job. So it's high time I accept the fact that I'm here in Germany and I should work on having a good life here in Germany. So I was like, okay, after the Ausbildung, I want to do my Führerschein and I want to get a große Wohnung. I want to build my investments here in Germany. I mean, that was good advice. Do you have any other tips or advice that you would want to share with us? Because that was a good advice.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
If one says their tips.
Yeah.
First of all, very, very important.
Yeah.
We all human beings are not the same. We are different. I can tell you, I know some people stayed maybe only 1 or 2 years, went back, maybe not on Uganda, other countries in Africa, and they managed. Yeah. So it doesn't mean if you say I go back, it won't work. But of course, you have to know from the beginning that what do I want? Yeah. Of course, when you think of, let's say, people who are here and the money they are getting, the little money they are getting, they're sending it home.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's negative, but if in the head you think, I feel happy when I help the people in the country I came from, then it's okay. You don't need to buy an expensive car. It depends on you, what
you want.
What you want. Yeah. There is nobody will say this is correct, this is wrong. You can manage, but you have to know what do you want. There are cases of, I know, some cases where people, every little money they get, they are investing in countries they came from. And then some of them, especially when they have children here, they think, yeah, okay, I do this for the children. Yeah. And then the shock will come. The children are not interested to go to stay in Africa. Yeah. And when you are young, you can be going there, enjoying the farm you made. But time will come, you can't even enjoy it. Right. So time comes when you are not young. You can't be going to Africa every year.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So there is nothing which one can say doesn't work. There are people, they have managed, and it works. I have a friend from Tanzania. I know also Ugandans. I know also a Ugandan lady. Yeah. She built a house in Entebbe. And for her, she says, when I go on pension, I leave Germany and go to Uganda.
That brings me also to ask one question, because I think you know many of Africans who are also in pension, yeah? Are there some few who have gotten now their pension and they are living completely outside Germany, like they are living in those countries they invested in, maybe like they are living in Uganda completely and they are happy?
Yeah, I know some. I know a friend, he went on pension. He worked a bit longer, but he went to pension last year. But really organized everything. in Tanzania, where he can stay, and the businesses. But of course, in most cases, you would have to be also registered here in Germany, because if you are outside, they won't know, are you still alive? So you can be staying in another country in Africa, but still registered here. They must have the address, the information where they put it. They put the money on your account, but I don't think they will send it to your account in the Ugandan. It has to be an account here.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be an account here. Yeah, because don't forget, they are careful.
Yeah.
If you are sending money to an account, somebody in Uganda, this person dies.
They will not tell you that the person has died.
Yeah.
They are benefiting from it.
Yeah.
They want you to continue sending. So they send it on an account that is German, so that when you don't remove it, then they start questioning.
They will know immediately what is happening.
Yeah.
They get, if anything happens to you, they get the information is no longer alive. So they stop paying it. But if you are outside, anything can happen. You are no longer alive, but nobody knows, and they are still paying the money.
Yeah.
So they want
you to have a bank account within Germany.
To be registered.
Yeah, to be registered.
Yeah, so that they know this is your address. They send you the information. If they don't get any feedback, they send a letter, whatever. Then they will say, what is happening? Is this still there? So I know there are some Ugandans pensioned there in Uganda, but you have to keep on coming, but not every month.
Yeah.
So that you can check the letters, everything.
But my question is, are they happy? You know what scares me most is investing in maybe I make an apartment in Africa, and then one day I have 2 children here in Germany. And then I'm old and I'm like, I will go back to Uganda so that may I have my warm weather and I have my organic food, and then my uncle will come and visit me in Uganda, or I can come back here in Germany and visit them all the time. But the thing is, what I have in my mind is, when that make you depressed because you're not seeing your uncle kinder, you're not seeing your children, everyone is here because your family is here and you're there. Like, does it work out for these people that you know? Does it work out? Are they happy with the situation, or they complain about hin und her fahren? Like, in hin und her fliegen. How is it?
I can't say anything about this.
Yeah.
But I think this is also what I talked about. When you are here, you can't have these expectations you have as if in Uganda. When it comes to children or grandchildren, you don't expect them to be
interested,
visiting you all the time. We are in German. The children or grandchildren, the life contact they have with their parents, you can't compare it with that you have in Uganda. So if you are doing this and you think the children will be coming all the time to visit you, I think one has to be very careful. That's why I said you have to learn how is the system here. Can tell you of some cases, even a friend from Nigeria married to a German lady, and he always was cooking okra. And the children don't want to eat okra.
The children want German food. They think they're 100% German. So I know they like to keep the culture here.
So this is also what is very important. When you come here, you have to learn that I can't have these expectations I had in a country like Uganda. Because if you have these expectations, you may get a bit frustrated, and you have only problems with the children. I know of in a case, friends of mine, friends in Braunschweig, the son, they are from the friend is from Sierra Leone, the wife is German. So the son started working in Volkswagen. He was very good, and the money was getting, even built a house. And then they thought to their parents, instead of renting a small flat, they moved, they go to the house where the son stays. Didn't even last 1 year. They said, "No, we go back. We can't." The way of thinking was different. And this is, you have to accept it. Yeah. So I also have children. I can't even say, let's talk about Uganda. It's,
It's different.
yeah, and you have to accept it. Yeah, yes. There are some, they may be interested, but there are many, it can't work. But this, you have to accept it. When you think of German families, I know German families, and they hardly see their children, because it's not like where the children be visiting you all the time. Nice.
They are not also being visited, even when they are living in the same country.
This is the life is different, and this is, you have to accept it, because if you are there and you think, they'll be visiting me. For example, in Uganda, when people get old, the children always have to take care of. Here, there are no children who say, "Oh, my parents are older, I'll take them." They take you to a home for old people.
Yeah, most of them will take you to the care homes, because they also have their work to do. They have their children to take care of. They are maybe also sick.
So this is, and as I said, when you are here, these are things you have to accept. Yeah, to know, okay, I can't be here and think I'll be getting what I thought I would be getting in a country like Uganda. It's different. It doesn't mean everything is bad, but you have to know the life is a bit different. Yeah, the same thing when you are working. The people you're working with are working colleagues. They are not that you say they are friends. You get some who are friends, but you have to know they are on a different level. They are working colleagues. Yeah. Not think, these are friends. No, you work together, and that's all. No. You get used to it, and time come, you accept it. You know, okay, this is the life, the way it is here. I have to know what can I do so that I get the best out of it. Yeah, and you can manage. As I said, for you, you are really very lucky. Especially when people know, okay, I can stay here. You have to know, what are my talents? There are people who are lucky, they have talents. For example, you are making this. So you have a talent. I'm very good in music. I'm good in sport. I'm good in
French. Languages. You can also teach languages.
organizing things, and even in small places. I'm staying in a village. For me, it's not that I have this talent. If one says, I want to be Gemeinde Rat, this kind of a group trying to organize things in the place, you can join. I know Ugandans who are active in Gemeinde Rat. Yeah, so it is possible. Yeah, you can join. And for example, the group looking after children, you are one of the people making decisions in kindergarten. Chances are there. But you have to know what is my talent, and you have to market yourself, because nobody will come to you and say, this is what you can do. No, you have to, chances, there are always advertisement. This is going to be done. This is going to be done. You go there and say, and when you are there talking, they'll be happy. Yeah.
For example, for myself, sincerely speaking, I didn't know that I'll ever do a job of teaching nurses English here in Germany. I was working one day, and the boss some boss from a school that teaches nurses was coming to visit my patient, and she was like, I've been looking for someone who teaches my nurses English. And I didn't even trust myself to say I can. But then the mother to my patient was like, yeah, Leila, you speak English, give it a try. And that's how I ended up being a teacher teaching English. And now I have a network, you know. I have a network, and they're still connected to me. They even send that. Even when I'm not that perfect, I swear they send the small English that I can teach the nurses, because they have a lot of immigrants right now, and not everyone speaks English, you know. So it works out. Anyway, to not make this video so long, we're going to end it here, and I hope you guys have learned something from it. I know that the most people who are watching me here are people who are in the nursing sector, so find a way of learning from this information that my uncle or that James has shared. Find a way of relating it in your career or in your life that you are living right now, and learn something from it. Just accept the fact that you are here in Germany, and the working culture is like that here in Germany, and find your way to navigate through so that you can make it. And also, if you have any questions, comment them down below, and I will be interacting with you guys. And I would like to say, excuse me if it was a little bit loud in the background. We have children, like my sister's children here. Until next time, bye.